So let's get started, but it's 1:30. I'll call the meeting of the Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District to order. Open Meeting Act. The public notice has been published in the York News Times on March 14th of 2024. The Open Meeting Act is posted in the back of the room by the door. The reminder, all cell phones should be silenced during the meeting. Please be aware that this meeting is being recorded. When speaking, the desktop microphone must be depressed. This ensures that your comments are recorded in their entire content. The recording becomes part of the public record along with written board minutes in accordance with state statute. Roll call.
Bethune.
Here.
Anthony Bohaty.
Here.
Jeff Bohaty.
Here.
Richard Bohaty.
Here.
Dickinson.
Here.
Groats. Uttershell. Kuehner.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Nuss.
Here.
Bohaty. Perry.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Siebert.
Here.
Stahly. Here. Weiss.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, consideration of director's request for excused absence. I have three. Roger Hottershell, ball game. Teresa's out. She's at the Water Leadership Academy today. And Rodney Groats, he's on a trip to Spain. So if you want to act on those separate, just make your motion that way. So
move to approve all three.
second. Roll call.
Anthony.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Public comments. Anyone may comment on any matter that's not on this agenda. However, no board action can be taken until the following board meeting, according to Nebraska Open Meeting Act, unless the board declares it an emergency. Please hold comments on any listed items until it is considered. I think we have at least one individual that wants to speak. Will come up on that mic. There's a button on there. The light needs to be green. Push it to turn green.
Yes.
Okay. And introduce yourself and then sign in.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. My name is Angie Joyce. I live in Hamilton County. I was born and raised in Aurora, Nebraska. My husband and I farm in Hamilton County are very much aware of the possibility of water allocation for the farmers. It is understandable for an allocation for groundwater protection. Having said that, why is Hamilton County not protected from big corporations that will be pumping 3 million gallons of water a day, every day, all year? I watched the December and January NRD meetings and was concerned that the Roberts Rules order was not followed correctly. From my understanding, the Synergy Well Permit hydrologic evaluation would have passed even if the decision would have come back to the board. Since the Rule Number 5, Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District Groundwater Management Rules and Regulations is broken, not able to protect our aquifer from entities wanting to waste our water. As a board, please look at the rules and regulations and repair these issues. I did not understand why the Synergy Well Permit hydraulic evaluation was not tabled. As a board, you're supposed to understand what is being voted on. Why was a permit not looked at by each board member? Why do board members follow what they are told versus what they know? Is it not up to each person on this board to do his or her due diligence? Was the 91-page Synergy hydraulic permit available for all NR members to evaluate before voting to pass this permit? Being concerned on how this permit was allowed to pass, I have been reading and trying to understand the Synergy Well Permit hydraulic evaluation. These are some of my questions that I have. I did copy this, and I'll be glad to leave copies. It's just a couple questions. Concerns, the Synergen well permit hydraulic evaluation on page 6 in the executive summary. Aurora Development Corporation is issuing a proposed large water system, Synergen, in the area of the process of conducting assessment, investigating, and securing permits. My question is, why is this large water user, Synergen, not in the city limits? And impacts of the simulation were evaluated for 54 groundwater wells with a complete record of a 3-mile radius of new use. My question is, are there only 54 groundwater wells within a 3-mile radius? Why are you assuming groundwater will not be affected further than 3 miles, maybe more so affected going further in the study? What does Synergen well permit hydraulic analysis mean by minimal impact? And it says there does not appear to be any reason why Synergen water permit should not be issued. Existing wells should be minimal, impact should be minimal, and it should not affect their operations. And why would private wells not be considered in the hydrologic analysis, taxpayers in Hamilton County? Page 7 on the introduction, it has also 3 steps, and there's a first step involved construction, and there's a third phase. In the second part, creating a steady simulation, simulated followed by simulation of a transient period from 1941 to 2018 to ensure the model's capability to replace changing water conditional in the aquifer. My question is, why was 2019 through 23 years not entered? Does the outcome of your Synergen well permit hydraulic evaluation change? With the void of the 5 years not included in the part of the introduction, does a lack of data entered or data guessed affect the impact on the water aquifer differently? Can the lack of correct data being entered change the findings? What is considered correct data of wells monitored? From the understanding of data shared recently, farmers may have water allocation. Should we not be concerned about 3 million gallon a day user of water? And also, in the conditional use permit, the city of Aurora has 7 wells in the public water supply, all of which are outside the evaluation area and thus not included in the analysis. This big a project, I find this very concerning. There's 7 wells that weren't even considered. How far outside are they? And I would like to also say from pages 39 and 41 of the Synergen well permit hydrologic evaluation references, they give an example, one reference, Anderson, Wasner, applied groundwater modeling simulation flow of effective transport. They just gave one page, 564, as a reference. Well, I looked this up and I found applied groundwater modeling, 2nd edition simulation of flow and effective transport by Mary Anderson, William Wasner, and Ralph Hunt. And the interesting pages in this are 67 through 70. I think it's a neat read to talk about uncertainty and limitations on the groundwater models. I have the references that I sent Mr. Julesberg that he will forward to you, so you can click on and be able to review them easier than entering it. This board is, I know this board is, being on a board is extremely hard, and most of the time you don't get appreciated. And I am concerned about this, and I sound harsh, I don't mean to, I'm just very concerned, but I do want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, then we'll move on to this agenda. The next item is adoption of this agenda.
I move to accept. Second.
Roll call.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Approval of minutes of the February 15th, 2024 Board of Directors meeting. Second. Is there any comments or questions on that? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is board recognition. A couple of months ago, John and I got 15 years, and there was an individual that was overlooked, Mr. Stahly. And you've been on 17 years, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. So at this time, I will present this plaque to you. And thank you for your service. So there you go. Okay, now we'll move on with the Water Regulations Committee report. Kim.
Water and Regulations Committee met Thursday, March 14th, 2024 at 9 a.m. at the NRD office. Those who participated are listed below. Bohaty, Dickinson, Groats, Miller, Odd, Peterson, Stahly, myself, and Yates. Other directors, staff, and guests are also listed. Action items: adoption of additional language to Rule 5. The Upper Big Blue Natural Resources District held a public hearing February 15th, 2024 at 10 a.m. at the Upper Big Blue Natural Resources Office at 319 East 25th Street, York, Nebraska 68467. 2 citizens testified concerning the change in the District Rule 5, Groundwater Management Area Rules and Regulations, Chapter 15, Allocation to Agricultural Users. Under Paragraph 1, to add the following language, which will read 01.01 certified acres that have been converted to a renewable energy site or to an industrial site shall be ineligible for and prohibited from pooling. No additional written testimony has been received by the district. Motion to adopt the following to Rule 5, Groundwater Management Area Rules and Regulations, Chapter 15, Allocation to Agricultural Users under Paragraph 01.01 certified acres have been converted to a renewable energy site or to an industrial site shall be ineligible for and prohibited from pooling, and to be effective April 22nd, 2024 upon approval by the Upper Big Blue Natural Resources District Board of Directors on March 21st, 2024. Motion carried 8 yes, 1 no, and I so move. Second.
Any questions or comments on this? Wait, roll call.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
No.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Item B, Vado Zone Study Payment. 2 invoices have been received for work completed on the Vado Zone Study from January 1st, 2024 through February 29th, 2024, totaling $24,323.28. A copy of the invoices are attached. Motion to pay the University of Nebraska-Lincoln for work completed on the Vado Zone Study totaling $24,323.28. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this or comments? Roll call.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item C, an invoice was received from JEO Consulting Group for professional service through February 16th, 2024, related to the facilitation of an advisory committee workshop. The workshop was reviewed as a successful day spent by all the participants. Motion to pay JEO Consulting Group for professional services provided in the amount of $1,832.50. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item D, Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share or Aquifer Quality Well Abandonment Cost Share Assistance Program applications have been approved for final payment totaling $3,000. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payments for 4 well abandonments as reviewed by the committee at a cost of $3,000. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Groats. No, not here. Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
and Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item E, 2 water meter repair cost share assistance applications have been approved for final payments totaling $600. A list is attached. Motion to make cost share payment for 2 water meter repair cost share assistance as presented by staff and reviewed by the committee in the amount of $600. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Certification of irrigated acres. The committee reviewed the irrigated acres certification for 26 parcels totaling 13,681 acres, yielding an increase in irrigated acres of 1,049.16. The total irrigated acres for the district is 1,249,232.23 acres. Motion to move to full board for approval the certification acre changes as presented to the committee. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so
Kendall. Shouldn't that motion be to approve those acres rather than move it to?
Oh, move to the board. Yeah, should be.
Just say to approve
Yep.
acres.
So the motion will be to approve the certified acre changes that were presented to the committee.
Okay. I didn't mean to
That's fine.
correct it, but it didn't sound right to me. That was there a second? John Miller.
Nancy, why don't you reread the motion on the floor?
To approve the certified acres changes that were presented to the committee.
Is there any questions or comments on the motion as reread? Okay.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune, Yes. Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item G, Brown and Caldwell. An invoice was received totaling $5,581.75 for work performed on the regional scale groundwater flow model of the Blue River Basin for work performed from January 1, 2024 through January 25, 2024. Copy of the invoice is attached. Motion to pay Brown and Caldwell for work performed January 1st, 2024 through January 25th, 2024, the amount of $5,581.75. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item H, an invoice was received from Tri-City Meter for 515 meter services and materials in the amount of $25,300. Motion to pay Tri-City Meters for work completed in the amount of $25,330. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item I, once every 5 years, the district sends out a request for proposals to do routine maintenance on the mechanical meters in the district. The staff is requesting permission to send out this request for proposals to do the routine maintenance on mechanical meters for the next 5-year period, 2025 to 2030, within the district. Motion to send out requests for proposals and post on the district's bid page requests for bids to service the mechanical meters within the district. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
Any questions on this? Comments? Roll call.
Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Rules enforcement update. Lift training order to cease and desist. Greg Gerkensmeyer has completed the nitrogen training course, so the order to cease and desist can now be lifted. Motion to lift the order of cease and desist on Greg Gerkensmeyer. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move. Second.
You got the second?
Bill. Bill. Oh, Bill. Questions? Comments? Roll call.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Water use reporting violations. There will be a change on this one. There are 6 water users, and the one that will be taken out of the motion will be Randy Jensen. Those 6 water users have not submitted their annual water use reports. Staff have forwarded all the procedures, including a letter of intent to use a cease and desist. An order of cease and desist. A list is attached. The motion to issue orders of cease and desist to Derek Eastman, Cody Engel, Greg Gerkensmeyer, Vavra Family Farms Incorporated, in care of Dean Vavra, Jim Vitipka, Cheyenne and Roxanne Wolford, who for failure to submit their annual water use reports. This motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. So the Greg on there, but we're taking one off for nitrogen and putting him right back on for water use. So any questions or comments? Discussion? Roll call.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Discussion and no action items. Interlocal agreement has been signed by all parties, and Brown and Caldwell has begun drafting a water sustainability fund grant application. The well permit summary, there was attached as a well permit report for January, February. We currently have 12,241 active irrigation wells. Rule 5, discussion on changes to phase requirements in Rule 5 would put on hold until we get the discussion that was back from the groundwater management action plan and what their discussion was. Water use reports. The revised water use report was provided to the committee, and there is a small increase from 9.3 to 9.56 inches per acre. SCAL update. The project on the 5-acre plot continues to move forward. March 18th, there will hopefully be some details on plot setup. A-junction solar. This will, since we handled something on that today, that will no longer be a discussion item for the committee. And additional business is an article which was in the Aurora News Register, was included in the packet. If you guys could take a look at it as well. And that concludes my report.
Yeah. Thank you, Kendall. Yeah, go ahead. Anthony.
So I'm looking over the article where they go for Charles Stahly. And then is that the amount of met of 3 million per day, or do the numbers work out? I'm only first get this making this oscillation. And I had another question. Kendall said that there's all Rule 5 stuff that's gonna like not happen, so we often ourselves to the harsh. Water dreams are still some other side in the future before someone else thinks us. We actually get this bag to make.
The large water user is going to be at this next committee's. We're essentially replacing, like the Rule 5 discussion on water quality, putting that on hold and replacing that with a large water user, because we've had quite a bit of good discussion on that, and a lot of people have questions related to it. So as of right now, we're replacing that, since what we have going on with like the whole area management plan, where they kind of have things going with JEO and having some input from outside, input. We're just going to see what that discussion brings up, and then we have some new stuff to discuss on the water quality side of things. So since we have,
We'll be addressing like, I don't know if I can other things with stuff and you was cross we will be assessing those kind of issues.
yep. So the committee will be discussing that this next month.
And will water committee be getting a lot of those questions? I don't know what we'll talk about it. Just time whether we are supposed to start surveys, are we supposed to address any of that now, make one of that
I think we need to wait until Terry sends out the information that she provided to him in written form.
Okay.
And then that'll give you some time to digest what's sent out to her from him, and then we can talk about it next committee.
And will we let her know things we were at that level?
We'll report back out on on the report. We'll make sure you get a copy of Terry's report next month.
Just want to say I appreciate it. This part's fun. You did it. Thanks. I have to do. No, not at all. Gee,
Should
Oh, yeah.
every meeting I have is public.
Yeah. Committee meetings, board meetings.
Yeah, Washington needs to go ahead and
Yeah.
okay. We're going to do it. Here for
Yeah, and most of the discussion will be on that ninth meeting. So, and you're welcome, like, you can have input during the meeting too. It's a little less informal than what the board meeting.
but like, yeah.
Well, but it's good that the public comes, though. We're glad to see them. And it might seem like in board, we're going through things really fast. There isn't much discussion. That's because 90% of the discussion is all done in with committees. So did you get all of your questions or comments?
Three butters, got to look out so the three knows.
Terry might.
Yes, that information that's accurate.
Yes, and water.
Yeah.
Buy back the work. That's for a lot.
Yeah, he's contacting us and working with us and making sure that when he does do an article now, that what he puts out is accurate information.
So
Okay. So was that? Thanks, Kendall. We'll move on to the projects and program. Richard.
Okay, Projects and Program Committee met at 10:04 a.m. Thursday, March 14th in the NRD office in York. Committee members present were Bethune, Bohaty, myself, Howdershell, Kuehner, Nuss, Perry, Weiss, and Yates, board chairperson, as well as staff members, directors, and guests listed on this page. Action items: land treatment program. One cost share application for reverse osmosis system was submitted and recommended for final payment. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $500 for one completed NRD land treatment project. That motion carried 7-1, yes, no, and I so move.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay.
We run down all that stuff.
No. But I mean, what if-
Any questions or comments on this?
I had a question.
Yeah.
This was a project, how are we sitting for funds for the year? If you include these, we get a lot of funds.
I think we're doing fine. They're 500 apiece, and I think we outlined step. Yeah, but during our discussion, they're pulling up. Had left treating program, that'd be up to the board to increase that amount. But I think we've had probably look up. I think there's 2 more in the works. So
That's we're sitting about right. But any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson, not voting. Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
No.
Bethune, yes. Anthony,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
that carried 12-1.
Nebraska Buffer Strip Program. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $655.50 for 7 Nebraska Buffer Strip Program contracts as reviewed. The motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Any questions on this? Motion? Comments? Roll call.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Not voting.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Private Dams Program. The committee discussed the current funding rate for the private dam program and issues with getting the obligated funds spent. Several landowners have decided not to move forward with dam repairs once the bids were received because the cost of the project was significantly higher than the original estimate. The Natural Resource Conservation Service has suggested we consider raising the maximum cost share amount due to increased construction costs. The Nebraska Department of Natural Resources concurs that the costs of construction are skyrocketing. Currently, the NRD cost share of private dam projects is 75%, up to a max of $50,000. The committee discussed the increased cost of the private dam project since 2017. From 17 to 20, the average cost share was $17,933.50. From 21 to 24, the average cost share was $43,703.72. Due to increased construction costs, staff recommended that the committee consider raising the maximum cost share of the private dams program. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD increase the maximum cost share amount for the private dams program to $75,000 from the current maximum of $50,000. That motion carried 6 yes and 3 nays, and I so move.
Oh, who's the second, Mike? Any questions or comments, discussion on this?
So we would be looking at 75% of 75,000.
No, 75,000 of the total. Or 75% of the total project up to 75,000. Right, Jack? Yes. Okay. John.
In the discussion, there was a mention of repair. I thought this was a new dam program. Is the repairs also part of it?
Yeah, most of the time we're doing repair. I think we've had maybe 2 new dams, but
Oh, but so this does include new dams?
Yes.
Okay. F.
So basically, we're just upping, obviously, the cost share, but our budgeted amount max is still, was it 200?
whatever we set,
It was at
last 2 or 3 years, I think we've had at 200.
So we're talking, wouldn't that be about 2.5 dams or whatever cover?
Yeah, if all of them,
If everybody keeps doing it,
sure.
Now, you would have the ability to readjust that budgeting amount next budget cycle whenever you want.
Jack, have we ever used up all that money that we budgeted, or have we never quite reached that amount?
I think maybe the second of the year we got close, but I don't think we've ever hit the max. I mean, in the last, when NRCS had some staff changeover and stuff, we were getting maybe 1 day a year, maybe at 50,000. That which budgeted 200. They can, but we have it this year. We may end up with just this 80-some thousand or something that we spent.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Maybe this was something I should have asked in committee, and I apologize that I didn't. A lot of the dam rebuilding, they can't use the silt. They don't clean out silt out of dams, but they just fix them. For instance, when the NRD fixed the project my brother applied for in 18, they didn't clean the silt up. They actually took down another hill. Why won't they do any of the silt work? Because for me, if I have a dam, a lot of times it gets silted in and it becomes extinct or out of certain, and then it floods. Just in a nutshell, why don't we consider that?
From day one, we've said we don't pay for just silt removal. There is options that when they go through the design, if there's enough silt in there that doesn't make the design work, we may pay for a little silt removal. We get a lot of requests for people. They just want silt. A lot of different dams, even though they're filled up with silt, they still provide benefits of flood control and stuff. So even if they fill up the riser, they're still there. So I just haven't paid. I think we had some landowners that had paid for silt removal on their own, or actually the contractor was looking and took it out. But and that's what he said. You got a contractor on site. If they want to have silt, they can probably get a better rate because it got the mold station, it got all the equipment there for our dam. that's up to the landowner. That
My only comment was I get out to his place about once every other year, and I looked at what they did, and they took half the hill down to rebuild the dam, which isn't what the ground naturally was. And I just wondered why. And his tube was broken and it was leaking. So in that case, I guess he doesn't care. But I thought it just didn't make sense to me growing up there, seeing that dam 50 years ago. So that's my only comment.
yeah, I don't think you can't use it as sediment for back on the dam for rebuilding dam. It's not.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's silt, but it's very, very poor material to build a dam, but you need some good clay that'll compact. Silt is really crappy. It'll just blow out or something. That's my opinion,
Well, when they, who was it that come out from the NRCS?
Yeah.
Ken, yeah. I mean, I asked him that, and he goes, you can't use that to build a dam. It's not gonna
NRCS is stressing not to just, if you do remove sediment, don't just pile it outside the pond area because it'll just run back in. I think they can take it up in the field, work it, disc it in, and may stay. But yeah.
Thank you for that.
You bet.
And it still has no water in it, so I question if it was done right. Try to be funny.
So do you think it's leaking? Oh, or do we need rain there? No.
We need rain. It's a testament how dry it is.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call.
Dickinson.
Yes. Oh, wait. Okay.
That the Upper Big Blue NRD increased the maximum cost share amount for the private dams program to $75,000 from the current maximum of $50,000.
As Brandon. Okay. Dickinson. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Berry.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
No.
Bethune.
No.
Anthony.
No.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Yates.
No.
That carried 10-4.
Excuse me. Next item, Lake Hastings Water Quality Management Plan Update and Payment Request. The open house for the Lake Hastings Watershed Management Plan was held on Tuesday, February 13th from 4 to 6 at the Hastings Airport. JEO is working on the notes, preparing the final report. The original plan was to have Tara Ogren with the City of Hastings complete a water quality model for Lake Hastings. Tara has since left her position with the City of Hastings, and this modeling work was not included in JEO's contract. JEO estimated the cost for their modeling at $7,500. Staff will contact the other agencies, Nebraska Department of Environment and Energy, Little Blue NRD, and the City of Hastings to discuss funding for the additional $7,500 modeling cost. JEO Consulting Group submitted an invoice in the amount of $10,379.57 for work performed from January 20th to February 23rd, 2024. The cost to NDEE will be 60%, which is $6227.74, and the Upper Big Blue NRD, Little Blue NRD, and the City of Hastings will each have a share of 13 1/3%, which is $1,383.94. The Upper Big Blue NRD will invoice the others quarterly for these costs. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $10,379.57 to JEO Consulting Group for work completed on the Lake Hastings Watershed Plan from January 20th to February 23rd of 2024. The motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Questions on this? Comments?
So is that first part something separate though? That's not related to the motion really in any way.
Update.
Okay, just an update on where we are with that.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the end game with this? Because ultimately, we're going to give them a plan, but we're not going to pay for it. Are they going to have to pay for it? What's the reason we continue to study this, or unless we have a long-term plan?
Yeah, they have some recommendations from their open house on things they can do at the lake, but and they've identified certain areas where there's sediment removal. They talk some bank stabilization, some different type of recreation areas. Yeah, they were probably trying to get some more grant funding to implement that. I mean, sediment removal, we all know, is very expensive, and you know, that's going to probably take some federal or some kind of outside program money. I'm assuming they'll come to us for some cost share as they go. I might add that additional water quality monitoring, I have contacted the other agencies, and I figure it's going to take a while for NDE to get back for that 60%. So I said, let's kind of focus on the 2,500 if the two NRDs and City of Hastings have to pay for that. I did get City of Hastings is up with 2,500. Little Blue said they'll have to take board action to get to 2,500 added. So which will be April. So I'll come back at next projects meeting and have a little more detail on that. I'm not sure I'll have the answer about that because NDE would pay 60% of that if they approve of that. But we'll address that next month's committee meeting.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Kuehner. Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Recharge Lake Water Quality Improvement Study Payment Request. The Upper Big Blue NRD received 2 invoices from the Flatwater Group totaling $11,375 for work performed through February 13, 2024, which included a kickoff meeting beginning data collection and site assessments. The committee discussed the Recharge Lake Water Quality Improvement Study and payment to the Flatwater Group, but due to an oversight, did not pass a motion to recommend payment. And I'll just mention that Jack called me on Monday to explain to me how we oversight. We didn't do that. Maybe it was something to do since it was dark here for 3 hours. So, and maybe, who knows? Okay, so I'll make a motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD approve payment of $11,375 to the Flatwater Group for work completed on the Recharge Lake Water Quality Improvement Study through February 13th of 2024.
Second. Any questions or comments on this? Roll call.
Miller.
Yes.
Nuss.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Siebert.
Yes.
Stahly. Yes. Weiss.
Yes.
Bethune.
Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Kuehner.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Yeah, blame it on the dark lights out.
Well, we were out lights till about 11 o'clock, so
No, that's
I know. Got to come up with something that looks good. Hazard Mitigation Plan Update and Payment Request. JEO Consulting Group submitted an invoice in the amount of $10,621.30 for work performed from January 13th through February 22nd or 6th, February 16th of 2024. The Nebraska Emergency Management Agency share is 75% of $7,965.98. The Upper Big Blue NRD, Hamilton County, Seward County, and York County will each pay 6.25% or $663.83. The Upper Big Blue NRD will invoice the other agencies quarterly. Motion that the Upper Big Blue approve payment of $10,621 $1.30 to JEO Consulting Group for work completed on the Upper Big Blue NRD multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan update from January 13th to February 16th. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second.
Questions on this?
Comments?
Roll call.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Picnic Table, Smith Creek, Oxbow Trail, request to purchase. The Upper Big Blue NRD staff requested quotes for picnic tables to be placed at Smith Creek and Oxbow Trail recreation areas. Specifications stated that the tables be manufactured by Webcoat, which is what installed in Pioneer trailers and Recharge Lake rec areas. Webcoat has gone out of business, but their tables are available through other vendors. 3 qualified quotes were received and 1 quote that did not meet the specifications. The tables are to be delivered to the NRD office and will be assembled by NRD staff. Motion that the Upper Big Blue NRD accept the low quote for picnic furniture of $19,337.61 for 11 picnic tables to be placed at Smith Creek and Oxbow Trail recreation areas. That motion carried 9 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Mike, please.
Any questions? Comments? Roll call.
Perry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anton,
No.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
That carried 13-1.
Discussion and no action items. Oxbow Trail Rec Area Supply Well update. The supply well has been installed and is currently pumping into the lake. The lake still has about 2 feet to reach the outlet overflow. One of the pipe joints is leaking, but Volsky will fix it. Broken Arrow Excavation will be installing a membrane and crushed rock on the well pad, and real fencing will be installing the chain link fence around the well. Langworthy Rhine Miller Dam update. To date, the NRD has not received payment from the Jesse Langworthy Trust for the restoration of the dam. The committee instructed staff to install a locking device on the alfalfa valve to prevent it from being open. Is there anything you want to add, Dave?
As of yesterday, we sent out a second invoice to Jesse Langworthy Trust, which included $1,644.80 interest.
It's good enough. Warning sirens update. Blue Valley Public Safety has completed the installation of the warning signs at the 4 rec areas. Cleveland Electric will be hooking up the power at all 4 sites in the next 4 weeks. Ballgren Dam Pipe Repair and our NRD staff met with Glenn Dobson of Subsurface at Ballgren Dam to review and discuss options for using cured-in pipe to fix deteriorating pipes. Subsurface Inc. will be in the area soon for projects in the Nemaha NRD and Little Big Blue NRD. So the Upper Big Blue NRD could save cost on mobilization, potentially get the project completed this fiscal year. The committee instructed staff to solicit 3 quotes for work as outlined in Operating Policy 27, Competitive Bidding. Urban Conservation Program staff presented details of adjacent NRD's urban conservation program for the committee to consider. Adopting a program for the Upper Big Blue NRD, Little Blue, Lower Big Blue, Lower Platte South, and the Central Platte. Currently, the Upper Big Blue funds similar system projects through special programs. The Upper Big Blue NRD has also funded these projects through the Parks program. The committee consensus was to continue funding these types of project requests through the Parks program and through special projects and not add an urban conservation program. Additional information, the local working group met March 27th March 7th at the Upper Big Blue NRD office. NRCS staff discussed new programs, fundings, and priorities. Beaver Crossing Blue River Trail. Staff has been contacted about potential trail project in the southwest area of Beaver Crossing. The trail might include a fishing pond and would utilize the abandoned railroad southeast of town. Beaver Crossing has had discussions with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Staff suggested they also contact the Nebraska Trails Foundation. The NRD may be able to fund a portion of the local funding requirement through the Parks program. Beaver Crossing will give a presentation on its project at a future meeting. And then we adjourned at 11:12 a.m. And that is my report.
Oh, thank you, Richard. Jack, but did anybody go out and put a lock on the Rangworthy? Right.
Oh, I've been gone all this week, but I did contact. So, that work go south out of valves. Just see if there's, we'll have one in before that. Okay. I haven't heard back from them yet, but I'll give a call.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the executive committee, the report. Bill?
The executive committee met at 11:20 a.m. on Thursday, March 14th, 2024 at the NRD office in York. The committee members present were Yates, Kuehner, Dickinson, Stahly, Bethune, Siebert, Bohaty, and Uttershell. Board Chairperson Yates acknowledged that we published the legal notice of the committee meeting on March 7th, 2024 in the York News Times. Yates advised those present that the Open Meeting Act is posted by the entrance of the boardroom. Item A, the headquarters office facility sustained water damage around the middle of January 2024. It was determined that the damage occurred when a frost layer developed between the rafter installation and roof sheeting. Warming of the attic area caused the frost to melt. Staff has asked 2 local contractors to provide written proposals on the potential solutions. If an Arctic blast occurs again this winter, more damage may occur. Staff recommended hiring Eileen Korth Jackson and Associates Incorporated to provide a potential solution to our moisture issues. The motion to authorize the general manager to enter into an agreement with Jackson and Associates, 6912 North 97 Circle, Suite 1, Omaha, Nebraska, 68122, with principal investigator Eileen Korth for services of uploading the building and drawing into their FieldWire app, making a site visit to do some field investigation to verify existing conditions, and generating a basic finding report. Expenses would not exceed $3,000. The motion carried 8 yes, 0 no, and I so move.
Second. Any questions or comments on that? Are they still looking at maybe here shortly to do that?
Yeah, I contacted her after the committee meeting and said that it was a potential go. She is holding 2 days out towards the end of March to potentially come out and do it. She did say first come, first serve, though, that if something else came up, she would take those off. But I didn't feel like I could enter into a contract until you guys gave me permission today.
Okay. But yes.
How probable is it that they must not take shingles off of that insulation layer off? Isn't that one of the things you discussed? And I think they'll put on that stuff. Yeah,
currently, they're looking at 2 different options to help find a solution to the problem. One would be coming from the top down, which is removing the shingles, putting insulation underneath and re-shingling it. The second option would be to come in and take out all the fiberglass insulation in the building itself, come through an access from some of the drop ceiling, take it all out. That option, well, we're going to wait till she says she's going to be the expert. In my opinion, that option is a lot dirtier to the operating conditions of the building, computers, printers, that kind of stuff. So I think we need to look at 2 options. she may come up with more than just two. That's why we're trying to have her tell us what's the best option.
Wasn't the shingle about $90,000 less? The argument.
I don't remember exactly.
Well, if it was lots, I like this. Yeah, right. But big deal.
Oh, that's going to be minor compared to the other option.
Okay.
Anybody that hasn't been on the board more than 4 or 5 years is going to get full the insulation out. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, is that
I covered my mic.
is that in
It things you picked up, but the problem did. What, you want it in there? I think that would, yeah, it's also. Is there any other questions on the motion to hire Tom consulting firm, Jackson Jackson? Roll call.
Peterson,
yes.
Siebert,
Yes.
Stahly, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
In discussion, no action items. The keyless entry system, we have some quotes that you can look at between now and next committee meeting. Public relations tour update will most likely be next August. The Burke scholarships, the application is tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Yeah, Crystal asked me, Crystal's coming back from DC right now, so she's in the air. We still could use some good quality applications, so if anybody knows of anybody the last minute, get them in.
So there's
So currently we only have several, and
I'll say it.
so we could use a few more to select from.
Yes.
It can be anybody that has a natural resource, even if they're currently in college, we would consider them. Typically, we do not do juniors in high school. They have to be a graduating senior that's going to a state-accredited educational institution. It does not need to be the University of Nebraska, though. Everybody thinks that we have had people from Shadrach, we've had people from Concordia,
Community colleges, but I think lots of,
Like our that's the I that be going
of a natural resource. And before you leave, I can show you on our website, or you can look at our website. We have a whole series of application. It's under scholarships.
Item E, the candidate filings are currently on the Nebraska Secretary of State. Dave, you have personnel report?
I thank whoever's spreading the word around for the maintenance workers. I've got a couple applicants since last week. We still do not have an abundance of applications, but keep spreading the word. Thank you very much.
Item G, legislation. The committee was provided an NARD weekly legislation update. You have a monthly financial statement attached. Item I is the Kansas-Nebraska Big Blue River Compact meeting is May 8th in Manhattan, Kansas, and the Natural Resource Commission meeting minutes from February 21st, 2024. You can see all the upcoming events on the next page. As a reminder, next month's meetings are going to be moved to the evenings. The committee concluded at 11:55 a.m. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Yeah, right now we're going to do the evening committees. This meeting, they have probably the water on Tuesday, projects and exec on Thursday, then the following Thursday board. That's the way it's set up right now. Okay. Thank you, Bill. The next thing, the financial statement and approval of bills to be paid.
In your package, you'll have the financial statements and the bills that have occurred for the last month. Staff will be happy to try and answer any questions that the board may have on the expenditures.
Well, yeah, I you pop that next one was that you can get one. I can't find I looked at them here on the well, but it keeps in my file phone too, and I went through them pretty good, and I didn't have special in there. Well, yeah, it's a little
Okay, that's part of the insurance package that we have. That is not necessarily new employee; it's an employee. It's an employee crime bond, and for errors and omissions. It used to be called errors and omissions. Sorry.
Or John.
I move to accept the report and pay the bills.
Second. Does anybody have any questions on anything in the financial statement and bills to be paid? Everybody had a chance to look at them. Yeah. I'll give you another minute or so. Okay, looks like we're ready. Roll call.
Siebert,
Yes.
Barry, yes. Weiss,
Yes.
Bethune,
Yes.
Wendell,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Dickinson,
Yes.
Kuehner,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Nuss,
Yes.
Ferry,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next thing, the NRCS report.
Hi, everyone. I've been here a couple times. I'm Nicole, and I'm resource. And right now, Josh is actually on detail to our state office. He's working with the RCPP program. So I am Josh for 120. So if anything you actually go to him for, you can come to me. So that I'll be around at July, unless they hire someone in his position. He'll come early. But right now in the offices, we are working on obligating and contracting our equips that were funded under the Inflation Reduction Act. So we're working through those. I think we got like $1 million about from that. So it funded about 30 extra contracts that we usually would not have. We're also working on our usual equip and RCPP. We have a deadline for April 5th. So if you have an application, we should start hearing in April if receiving funding. CRP is open right now, both continuous and general CRP. General CRP is open until March 29th. So there is that. Continuous is sometime this summer is the deadline. On March 7th, we had our local working group meeting here. And that meeting is essentially to hear from anyone in the district on what they think, what they'd like to see from NRCS and those opinions. Some conversations that we had were renozzling pivots and variable rate putting on something for variable rate on pivots. With NRCS, we are seeing applications for that, but we usually aren't down to them to fund them. And the NRD does not have a program, but it is apparently available under NSWCP. So to consider. And then some staffing updates. Aurora have put out tentative job offers for some new staff. I don't know if they've accepted those yet, but yeah.
I'm putting out for is it more to go down into his house for morale, like specifically lots guy or more out of the watering down and also God like once he put
yeah. So I haven't done much with them, but I do know you have to go lower pressure usually. And I think we tend to look at the lifespan of the pivot too, and you know, how old it is, and if there is a need for it to be more efficient, which usually you can justify that there is going to be some way for it to be more efficient.
No, not that we renozzled a pivot last summer.
Okay.
Wish and Ulysses. It's amazing. They can slap 2/3 of nozzles and you just move them. And I think the cost on to do it was less than $100.
Okay.
And if you do it yourself, it wasn't that big a deal. Now you have to go, you can get new nozzles and go all the way through the pivot, then it's a little bit more.
Right.
So, I mean, it can be done cost effectively.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, we got a few calls on whether we thought sure would be obsolete. I think we used to, no longer do. A couple of them come down by little blue borders, but little blue I think still does. Maybe not. But something maybe a lot consider the future yourself. Like nozzles that are kind of outdated as it places. But we do get calls once in a while.
Does anyone have any other questions for Nicole?
Did you say, you said you got $1 million extra funding for what specifically, what for this upcoming period that you're looking at projects in April? Did I misunderstand that?
So the funding we got was through the Inflation Reduction Act, and we are now actually contracting those. We did that a little differently than we do. It's a first come, first serve. So older applications first was how Nebraska chose to process it. The money in April is what we usually get allocated at a ranking system. So the more competitive.
Anyone have any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, the next thing, the NARD report. Paul?
Let's see here. So budgets came out for the next 2 years to be looked at. They'll be voted on in June. It looks like dues will be dropped down to 2%. Because they're finding that expenses with the building were as high as when they first purchased it. So that'll be a plus for us. On the retirement, the 1% increase, we still haven't taken an official vote. There's still 4 NRDs that haven't given their opinion, but there's 4 of them that have said no, so it probably will not pass. On the epic tax and sales tax, the NARD and several other organizations had the University of Nebraska Omaha do a study, and it should be coming out very soon to see their opinion on the impact. Preliminary, they're saying sales tax would have to be a minimum of 21%. This is across the board. Everything. Food, all your fertilizer, everything.
Services too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. You take your property taxes are high, what you pay in sales tax.
Question is that based on new stuff or less?
Yeah, that'd be new, but
It's been. See, they had a Seward County their GOP monthly meeting. They had somebody talk about it, and they said, I don't know what group it was, and they said that 21% is all bogus. So I really like to get like Ernie Goss from Creighton, give us a really good opinion of what it is, because I their numbers was way less than that. I don't know what to believe.
well, this study should be coming out.
Yeah.
Dean thought it'd be out end of last week, but since he was in Washington, we haven't heard anything yet. So, yes, that's all I have for this month, unless there's more questions.
Paul, does that 1%, does that have to be unanimous? I forgot all NRDs in the state, or is it majority? That 1%
On that retirement.
Every NRD has to,
it has to be unanimous.
100%.
Okay, so that's not likely to happen then.
Anybody have any questions for Paul? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Chairman's report. You should have all your expenses per diem laying here. I think they want them by the end of the month. I was going to mention in the legislature, this LB 1368 on this Nitrogen Reduction Act incentive. It seems like the legislature wants to get involved with nitrogen across the state. But, and this is my opinion, that I think they're going at that wrong, but they want to maybe pay people to do a better job. They're talking about 40 pounds of nitrogen, use less. But it sort of burns me, because I think they need to reward the people in the state that have been doing a good job, that have already cut back that nitrogen rate. And if they would do that instead of jeopardize them, and to do that, and then maybe some of the ones that think, well, maybe I want some of that money, maybe I'll try to do a better job. I think they're going at that backwards a little bit. That's my opinion, and that's one reason. So, and just be concerned about, if they start getting involved, in nitrogen in Nebraska, it might get really interesting down the road. And it sort of reminds me a little bit on the NRCS program, and don't hate me for what I'm going to say. They had the CSP program, and a lot of people signed up the first year, and there were some payments. Then the problem was every year you had to do a little more and a little more, spend a little more, but there was people out there that was already leaving filter strips, grass strips, wildlife areas, but they wouldn't accept that until you went in and destroyed it, farmed it a year, and then put it back in, and I went around and around with them. But that's what this sort of, the people that are doing a good job are actually might get penalized, and they're the ones that should get the money, because they're the ones that have been helping the situation for 10 or 20 years, so, and I know in the legislature, I don't think this is going anywhere, the way I understand it, but it's just something, but to be watching, in my opinion. Really, that's really all I had. Bill mentioned about, going to evening meetings. So does anybody, Mike?
Mommy scholarships, I think maybe about this year's, but
I know last year we had,
People or something.
15 there was a lot last year. And then I know last year there was a lot of really good ones too, so it was hard to pick, I can't believe there's, we're down to, a day or 2 days, and there isn't more, that really surprised me. I talked to a couple people, and I actually told them, well, so far we don't have very many, so, the chances are good. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but it's, so, does anybody have anything else they would like to mention or let's bring up?
Where are you thinking of going? We're already at 2,000.
most people.
Well, a lot more than 500 did a few years ago. But
They think about no one is connected to a little branches of the university. They're not.
I know there's some in there. Is it staff and directors? Is it staff too, maybe? Yeah.
So that's been on 20 years.
Well, I'll ask Crystal. It's too late to do anything for this current selection process. But as soon as the selection process, I'll have Crystal talk about it some committee meeting, and we'll talk.
But I know when Larry Moore was on, I think he had brought that up because I think he had a grandchild there that wanted to apply, and I know we would, or it wasn't allowed, but
As far as I can remember, it's like been that way. When those directors or the descendants of the director in the parts and monitoring them, it kind of forward.
yeah. Well, just because it's been that way a long time doesn't mean that we can't change it, Great.
Something that last year I went on was my area public meeting. Something you made that are made good as their schools, they get like $1,000 every year they can schools. I noticed those scholarships were X amount over the 4 years. That was something that parents that kids were kind of out. They instead of just $1,000, they will just $1,000 over 4 or 5 months, a year, for 1 year, sometimes 2 years. So I can't tell out.
Like those style of scholarship that interest.
Yeah.
John, do you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I did bring this up to a staff member, and
If you don't want to say it,
a year ago, when we actually had that third scholarship, maybe just have a special scholarship for employees and board members. That would be one of the criteria. I don't know whether that was.
So do you think that would help hiring people, maybe? Well, I mean, it could be just.
I guess if I would be you asked to look at some of these, like the scholarship stuff, and I don't even really need to look at names. So that's why it doesn't really bother me if somebody's kid or somebody would be applying, grandkid, because I don't want to know the name. I would rather just read and look at everything else beside. I'm not going to look at the name.
Yeah.
I wonder why some that didn't get Weiss why, because I think in the past week, somebody that didn't get it 1 year and then got it the next year. You know, think
Yeah.
year five. I think they made a good job of fixing it. Yeah. I'm counting on today. I mean, it's probably not them.
I know there was one that didn't get it last year, and I told him, well, go ahead.
Yeah.
And apply again this year because, second years, students can do it too. That's not a problem. So, okay. Does anybody have anything else they would like to mention? Okay. With that, I would be willing to entertain a motion to adjourn. So move. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Motion carried. We are adjourned.
Great.